strong.
Hi everyone, and welcome to What's Ruby Doing. Today we're going to be doing some ink work, and we do not want the dog walking on it. Off you go! Thanks for joining me. I'm using Liquitex inks today because I love the vibrancy in their colours and they hold really well. I'm just going to give you an example of some of the techniques that you can use. Let's get started. I'm going to show you a few ways to use inks on different types of materials. We've got canvas, we've got 300 GSM watercolour paper, and we've got, I use this one just as an experimental because it's not on high quality paper. So to begin with, on this one I'm going to spray a little bit of water. All you need. Now you'll see how wonderful it is when you put a little droplet on, and how that spreads beautifully. I just love watching that. And I'll draw back into this later. The next technique is to wet your brush and just dampen down one section of the paper. Then select a colour of ink, pop a little droplet on. See how it spreads in a different way? Get all these little spider webs happening. So I'm going to wet this brush down now and paint directly. To do that, I'm just going to grab a little bit of ink with my pipette. And work over into this piece. One little droplet, and then off you go. We're just experimenting today, so it doesn't have to look like anything. This is reminding me of some of the sea corals in the Barrier Reef. They have all the netting in between. Now I'd like to put a bit of spray on that and show you what happens. As you can see, the ink runs. Oops! Our mulberry's running away. But that's okay, it just adds to it. Now I'm going to use some of the red on the canvas, and this will show you how differently it attracts. Let's get a paper towel. This is really good for backgrounds, and we just move the ink around. I love doing these for washes in the background. So I'm back on concentrating on this one now. I'm just using Art Craft block, and I'm going to make some line marks. Let's try some of our natural brushes. These are just made from bamboo, which grows in my back garden. I like this little guy. He gives me really nice fine lines. Okay, that's enough of that one. I'm going to use my palm frond brush now. Pop a little bit of water on. Dip it in my graphite. And look at all those spidery marks. It's wonderful. So that's a base for an artwork. I'm going to spray a bit of water. See how it runs beautifully. You can move that around to get your runs to go in whatever way you like. I'm going to leave that now, and I'll come back in and draw on it later. Let's try our ink brush on our blue droplets. It should be dry enough now to draw around. To me this looks like a seed pod. Of course, it's just a demonstration. There's a lot more work to do if you make it into an artwork. Get some more water. Paint over here. Let's introduce another colour. Already used mulberry, so I'll leave that alone. Try a bit of green. I just love how they spread. I also like to use leaves to make marks in my inks. Simply press that on, get a brush, paint over the top. That to dry. Now I'm going to stencil another leaf over this one. Have your brush damp but not soaking wet, so just wring it out a bit. We might do a contrasting in silver. Just place it straight onto the brush and paint around the edges. Leaves a nice little outline. Might be able to use that one upside down over the top here. Subtle, tiny, subtle little marks. You would normally allow these to dry before drawing back in. I'm just going to show you how it goes. Now I'm just playing with a bit more ink. No water this time. brush to move those colours around. So I'm creating a shadow for this leaf imprint. Then I'll use my little handmade bamboo brush, dip it in my graphite block, encourage an outline, a little bit more water, now I need to leave that alone to dry. I'm just going to add a little bit of plum to this one here, and when it's dry you can layer the inks. Move it around with our brushes. Put these beautiful scratchy marks everywhere. As you can see, the quality of this paper is not as high, so the paper's not very friendly to using layers of inks. As in the high quality paper, it can blend a lot more. You don't have to be as gentle. A bit of yellow. And then we just let that seep in and dry. Now that this one's a little drier, I can do a bit of painting on him. Always give him a good shake. Because I'm an abstract painter, I'm creating things in my abstraction. So I'll show you a plant behind me before we finish today. And that'll give you an idea of how I pull it apart. Just representing a beautiful blue sky. Simple as that. Now I want my graphite block a bit thicker, so I'm just picking up a section of it. Not everyone uses their inks like this. This is just a ruby purple unique. And I think that's enough. You can see the little flecks there. Now to show you what I'm actually looking at to create that one. This is one of my butterfly attracting plants. Thanks for joining me today for What's Ruby Doing. I hope you've enjoyed this demonstration and have a wonderful day. See you next time.